Welcome back to Coffee Pod. I'm Rhonda, your host, and today we're talking about something that every single one of us has experienced, but most of us don't talk enough about: betrayal. Have you ever been blindsided by someone you trusted, felt the ground shift beneath your feet when their kindness turned into cruelty? You weren't imagining it. Today we're diving into betrayal at the hands of toxic people. Why it stings so deeply, how it sneaks up on us, and what it takes to stand back up when our trust is shattered. The gut punch of realizing that someone you trusted, somebody you let into your life, somebody you gave a piece of yourself to, stabbed you in the back. Whether it's a friend, family member, partner, coworker, betrayal hurts. It cuts deeper than almost anything else because it's not just about what happened, it's about what it meant. So grab your coffee, settle in because we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about why betrayal hurts the way it does, why toxic people seem to thrive on it, how to spot it before it blindsides you again, and most importantly, how to heal and move forward without dragging all that poison into the next chapter of your life. Welcome back to the Toxic series. I'm Rhonda. In each episode, we map the winding terrain of toxic relationships so you can reclaim your power. In our last episode, we tackled trauma bonding. Today, we're exploring betrayal. The moment the person you thought had your back becomes the one who drives a knife in it. By the end of this episode, you'll have the language to name it, the clarity to set boundaries, and the courage to rebuild. Let's define betrayal. Betrayal happens when someone you trust breaks an unspoken agreement, leaving you feeling deceived and unsafe. It isn't just a one-off disappointment, but a wound to your sense of self and belonging. In healthy relationships, breaches are met with remorse, accountability, and genuine repair. With toxic people, betrayal often becomes a repeated pattern, weaponized to control and confuse you. Betrayal feels like the rug got yanked out from under you. One minute you think you're standing on solid ground, and the next minute you're flat on your ass, wondering what the hell just happened. And it's not just cheating in a relationship. Betrayal wears a lot of outfits: lies, broken promises, manipulation, gossip, people smiling to your face while talking shit behind your back, people swearing loyalty to you while plotting their escape route. The emotional fallout, it's brutal. Anger, confusion, shame, grief, sometimes all at once. You start questioning yourself. How did I not see this? Was I blind? Am I stupid? And that shame is the worst because you feel like you let yourself down. The hardest part is that betrayal almost always comes from people closest to you. A stranger can't betray you. It's always someone you trusted. And that's why it feels like such a violation. It's not just the act, it's the breaking of the bond. Here's the thing about betrayal. It almost never comes from strangers. A stranger on the street can insult you, cut you off in traffic, scam you online, but they can't betray you. Why? Because betrayal requires trust, and strangers don't have our trust. The people who betray us usually are the ones we let the closest: partners, friends, family, coworkers we thought had our back. They're the ones who know our secrets, our soft spots, our fears. We opened the door, let them in, and gave them access to the parts of us that most people never get to see. That's what makes betrayal such a violent kind of pain. It's not just about what they did, it's about the relationship they broke to do it. When your best friend talks about you behind your back, when your spouse cheats, when your parent dismisses or humiliates you, it's not just the action that wrecks you, it's the shattering of safety. You thought you were safe with them, and then suddenly you realize you weren't. And here's the part that's hard to swallow. Betrayal by people closest to us is often a pattern, not a one-time mistake, because people who truly love and respect you will screw up sometimes, but they'll work like hell to repair it. A toxic person, they'll betray you again because they never saw your trust as sacred in the first place. So if betrayal stings you worse when it's family or when it's someone you loved, don't take that as weakness. Take that as proof of your strength. You loved openly, you trusted deeply. That's not a flaw. The betrayal is theirs, the pain is yours, but the choice of what happens next, that's all you. Let's talk about why toxic people betray. Spoiler alert, it's not an accident. Toxic individuals use betrayal as a tool to undermine your confidence and keep you off balance. Their actions are rarely accidental. They're strategic moves designed to erode your boundaries. You might notice the cycle: idealization, minor betrayals, gaslighting about what really happened, then intense periods of charm or apology to reel you back in. Understanding this cycle helps you see betrayal not as a random pain, but as part of a larger manipulation. Toxic people betray because they crave control. They want power. They want attention. They want drama. They don't see relationships as sacred. They see them as games to be won. Narcissists, they betray to keep you off balance. It's a way to remind you that they're in charge and you're never really safe. Toxic family members, oh, that's a whole other beast. They betray you because they believe loyalty is one way. You're supposed to stick by them no matter what, but they don't owe you a damn thing. And here's the kicker: betrayal is a test. They want to see how much you'll tolerate. Can they lie and get away with it? Can they break a promise and you still come running back? If the answer is yes, they'll do it again and again. And worse next time. It's a cycle. Hurt, apologize, repeat. Same show, different season. Betrayal is more than an isolated incident. It's in toxic relationships, it's often a pattern, a weaponized breach of trust designed to keep you off balance. It can look like a friend sharing your deepest secret as gossip, a partner rewriting the truth to cover their lies, a coworker taking credit for your ideas and watching you take the fall. Each act chips away at your sense of safety. Betrayal in a healthy relationship would be rare and surrounded by remorse and repair. But in a toxic dynamic, it's strategic, a way to control you, to remind you how dispensable you are. Here's the ugly truth: betrayal is a strategy for toxic people. It's not a random slip up. It's not just them messing up or being human. It's intentional and it serves their agenda. Toxic people betray for a handful of reasons. One, for control. Betrayal keeps you guessing. If you never know where you stand, you're easier to manipulate. They keep you in a cycle of hope and disappointment. One minute they're loyal, and the next they've blindsided you. It trains you to cling tighter, to try harder, to prove your worth to them. That's control. Second, power. To a toxic person, betrayal is about dominance. They want to know they can cross a line and you'll still stick around. Every time you forgive without consequences, they gain more power. It's like a sick game of how much can I get away with? 3, drama. Some people are addicted to chaos like it's oxygen. Betrayal creates conflict, and conflict keeps all eyes on them. They stir the pot, betray your trust, then sit back and watch the fallout. It feeds their need for attention. Fourth, ego. Betrayal strokes their ego. If they can juggle multiple people, if they can lie and get away with it, if they can keep secrets and pull strings, it makes them feel smart, superior, untouchable. Is arrogance disguised as charm. 5, testing you. Every betrayal is a test. Will you leave? Will you call them out? Or will you swallow it and move on? Toxic people are constantly testing your boundaries because once they know you'll tolerate betrayal, it becomes their green light to keep doing it. And here's the kicker: betrayal is never about being not enough. It's about you being not enough. It's about them being wired to feed off control, chaos, and selfishness. You could be perfect and they'd still betray you because their loyalty isn't to you, it's to themselves and their own appetite. The faster you recognize that, the faster you stop internalizing their behaviors as your failure. Their betrayal isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that they're incapable of love in the truest form: respect, safety, consistency. So why toxic people betray? All right, let's talk about why toxic people betray. Because this is where a lot of us get stuck. We sit there asking ourselves why over and over. Why did they lie? Why did they cheat? Why did they stab me in the back when I gave them nothing but love and loyalty? We think if we can just figure out the why, maybe it won't hurt as much. But here's the thing: the why has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with them. Toxic people don't betray by accident. Betrayal is a strategy. It's a weapon. It's how they survive and feed themselves emotionally. Toxic individuals use betrayal as a strategic tool to dominate and destabilize others. By breaking trust, they keep you off balance and reliant on them. ensuring they remain in the position of power. Their belief that social rules don't apply to them fuels this behavior, allowing them to manipulate without remorse. Putting their own needs and desires above everything else, toxic people will betray to secure personal gain, whether that's money, status, or attention. They view relationships as transactions and see no issue with sacrificing others if it serves their interests. Deep-seated self-doubt can drive toxic individuals to preemptively sabotage relationships. Fearing eventual rejection, they betray first to protect themselves from the pain they anticipate. This self-fulfilling prophecy gives them a false sense of control over potential loss. Lack of empathy and moral compass. Many toxic betrayers exhibit traits of narcissism or psychopathy, marked by an absence of genuine empathy and a weak moral framework. Without remorse or guilt, they can violate trust repeatedly, viewing people as means to an end rather than whole human beings. Entitlement and rule exception. A hallmark of toxic people is their conviction that normal ethical standards don't bind them. They see themselves as exceptional or too important for mundane rules, which justifies their continual betrayal in their own minds. Projection and deflection. Rather than owning up to their flaws, toxic individuals often project blame onto others. By framing their betrayal as justified reactions to imagined slights, they dodge accountability and shift focus away from their own shortcomings. Jealousy and envy. At its core, betrayal is sometimes driven by envy. Toxic people may resent your success or happiness and resort to undercutting you, gossiping, gaslighting, or exposing vulnerabilities to feel superior or to derail your achievements. Understanding these underlying motives equips you to spot toxic partners early and fortify your boundaries. Next, we could explore concrete strategies for responding to each of these betrayal tactics. Let's break down how toxic people betray you. Broken promises, repeated until you no longer expect honesty, emotional blackmail. If you really love me, you'd do this. Public humiliation, sharing private moments to make you feel small, financial betrayal, draining your resources or sabotaging your stability, triangulation, putting people against each other so you can't trust anyone but them. Each form of betrayal isn't just an isolated wound, it's a strategic move to erode your resilience and keep you dependent. I remember a listener's story about a sister who repeatedly borrowed money she never repaid, then turned everyone else against her sibling when she asked for it back. The betrayal wasn't about the cash, it was about exerting power. Control. Betrayal is a tool of control. When you're betrayed, you lose your footing. You start doubting your own reality. And while you're spinning in confusion, they're standing there steady, holding the strings. If you're constantly second guessing, they're in charge. Power. Then there's power. A toxic person wants to know they can break the rules and you'll still stay. That's the real game. Every time you forgive them without requiring change, you've just handed them more power. It's like running experiments. How much can I get away with before you finally walk? Drama addiction. And let's not forget, some people are straight up addicted to drama. Betrayal creates fireworks. Betrayal stirs the pot. It gives them a stage and keeps all eyes on them. They thrive on chaos the way normal people thrive on love. Ego and validation. Betrayal also feeds their ego. If they can juggle multiple people, lie smoothly, keep secrets, and still have everyone fooled, that makes them feel untouchable. It gives them this twisted sense of superiority, like they're smarter than everyone else in the room. But they're not. Testing boundaries. And here's a big one. Betrayal is a test. They want to know, what's your limit? Will you call them out or will you let it slide? Because if you let it slide once, they'll do it again and worse. For toxic people, every betrayal is data collection. They're learning exactly how much they can use and abuse you before you snap. Now, let me stop here and make something really clear. Because I know some of you probably thinking, well, maybe if I'd been better or kinder or prettier or more supportive, they wouldn't have betrayed me. No, that's bullshit. Betrayal isn't about your lack. It's about their lack. Their lack of respect, their lack of integrity, their lack of capacity to love in any real safe, consistent way. If you had been perfect, they still would have betrayed you because betrayal isn't about you, it's about them feeding their own brokenness. Their loyalty has never been to you, it's always been to themselves and their own cravings. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't understand why they betray, you risk letting them keep doing it. But once you see it, once you understand their game, you stop blaming yourself. You stop taking it personally, and you start realizing the betrayal isn't proof of your weakness, it's proof of who they really are. So next time you catch yourself asking, why would they do this to me? Flip the question. Don't ask why they betrayed you. Ask why you're still letting them stay close enough to do it again. So how do you know if you're dealing with a betrayer before you take the knife out of the drawer? Watch patterns, not apologies. Anybody can say I'm sorry. Doesn't mean shit if nothing changes. They always have an excuse. I didn't mean it. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, never quite sure if you're safe. They gaslight you. That didn't happen. You're imagining things. You're crazy. And the classic flip the script move. Somehow you become the problem. They cheated. Somehow it's because you weren't giving them enough attention. They gossiped about you. Well, apparently you made them feel left out. It's never their fault. Not once. So common tactics of betrayal. Rewriting history to make you doubt your memory. Sharing your vulnerabilities is gossip for social leverage. Emotional blackmail that frames your needs of unreasonable as unreasonable. Financial sabotage or theft cloaked in family favors. Triangulation, putting others against you to isolate your support. When betrayal hits, you can expect shock and numbness, like you're moving through a fog, intense self-doubt. Did I misread the signs? Was I too trusting? Anger that cycles between unbearable rage and deep sadness. Isolation, because toxic people often cut you off from support. Grief for the relationship you thought you had. These reactions are normal. Ties. Betrayal in toxic ties feels like the death of something you never knew was fragile until it was gone. You don't have to wait for full-blown betrayal to strike. Watch for red flags. Repeated boundary violations disguised as jokes or tests. A pattern of excuses whenever they're called out. Your anxiety spikes whenever you see their name or hear their voice. Your closest friend or family gently warn you but you brush it off. Notice how your body reacts. Your gut knows before your mind does. Betrayal always leaves a resonance in your chest. Pay attention to that. Betrayal doesn't just hurt in the moment, it warps you. You start blaming yourself. What's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? You get scared to trust anybody new. Every new person looks like another potential knife wielder. You become hypervigilant, always on alert, waiting for for the other shoe to drop. Or maybe you go numb. You shut down emotionally because feeling feels too dangerous. Betrayal trauma is real. It's not just in your head, it's in your body. Your nervous system starts firing like you're in constant danger. Sleepless nights, anxiety, gut issues, headaches, your body keeps the score. Let's talk about what betrayal actually does to you, because it doesn't just hurt in the moment, it changes you. It rewires your brain, your body, your sense of safety. Betrayal warps you in ways you don't notice at first. Self-blame. The first way, self-blame. You start asking, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? Why didn't I see it coming? Instead of putting the blame where it belongs, on the other person who lied, cheated, or stabbed you in the back, you turn it inward. That's the betrayal trauma talking. It convinces you that you failed, when in reality, you were just loyal to the wrong person. The second way betrayal warps you is with trust. Suddenly, everyone feels suspicious. Every new person looks like another possible betrayer. You start reading between the lines in every text message, overanalyzing every look, every pause in conversation, because your brain is trying to prevent you from ever getting blindsided again. And that leads right into hypervigilance. You're on constant high alert, waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's exhausting because you're not just living in the present, you're living in the shadow of what happened before, convinced it's about to happen again. Or maybe you go to the opposite direction. You shut down emotionally. You numb yourself out because feeling feels too dangerous. If love, trust, and vulnerability only led to betrayal, then the safest move seems like not feeling anything at all. But that's not safety. That's survival mode. And here's something people don't always realize. Betrayal trauma doesn't just live in your head, it lives in your body. Sleepless nights, anxiety that makes your chest tight, gut issues that flare up out of nowhere, headaches, panic attacks. That's your nervous system stuck in fight or flight mode, replaying the betrayal over and over like it's happening in real time. Betrayal warps the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you move through the world. It's like someone took your internal compass and smashed it, and suddenly you're wandering through life, not sure if you can trust yourself to choose safe people ever again. But let me tell you something, it's not permanent. Betrayal changes you, yes, but it doesn't have to define you. The same way your brain can be rewired by trauma, it can also be rewired by healing. The first step is seeing how it warped you, naming it so you can start untangling yourself from it. The emotional fallout. Shock and numbness often arrive first as your mind struggles to process that someone you cared for hurt you so deeply. That fog gives way to a swirl of self-doubt. How did I miss the signs? Was I too trusting? Anger and sadness can cycle unpredictably, sometimes erupting when you least expect it. Many survivors describe a grief akin to mourning a person who has never truly who you believe them to be. So how do you break free? First, acceptance. You cannot change what they did. You cannot rewrite history, but you can decide what happens next. Second, boundaries. Betrayal is a deal breaker. I don't care if it's your spouse, your sibling, your best friend, your child. If someone betrays you and shows no change, you don't owe them continued access to your life. Cutting ties, even with family, isn't cruelty, it's self protection. Blood doesn't give anyone a free pass to keep bleeding you dry. Reframe it. Their actions say everything about them, not you. You didn't deserve it, you didn't cause it, and you damn sure don't have to carry it. Then start building a circle of people who show loyalty through actions, not just pretty words. People who keep their promises, people who stand by you even when it's inconvenient. Here's Okay, so we've talked about what betrayal feels like and how it warps you. Now let's go get to the most important part. How the hell do you break free from it? Because here's the truth. Betrayal will chain you down if you let it. It'll keep replaying in your head like a broken record, convincing you you'll never trust again, never heal, never be safe. But you can break free. You just have to stop waiting for an apology that's never coming and start choosing yourself. Step 1. Acceptance. This one stings, but it's the foundation. You cannot change what happened. You cannot make them undo it. You cannot rewrite history. The betrayal happened, and your power comes from deciding what happens next. Step 2. Boundaries. You have to decide that betrayal is a deal breaker, period. I don't care if it's your spouse, your sibling, your best friend, or your child. If someone betrays you and keeps doing it, they've lost the privilege of being in your life. Boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries are protection. Step 3. Cut ties when necessary. Let's be real. Sometimes you have to walk away. And that is not cruelty. That's self-preservation. Blood doesn't equal access. Shared history doesn't equal a free pass. Cutting toxic people out of your life doesn't make you cold-hearted. It makes you smart. Step 4. Reframe it. Their betrayal is not proof that you weren't enough. It's proof they weren't capable. Their actions reflect their character, not your worth. Stop personalizing what was never about you. Step 5. Build your circle. Breaking free isn't just about who you let go, it's about who you let in. Start surrounding yourself with people who prove loyalty with their actions, not just words. People who show up, who are consistent, who honor your trust. Breaking free from betrayal is not easy. It feels like tearing off a piece of yourself because betrayal bonds are sticky. But here's the reality. You deserve peace more than you deserve to keep the peace with someone who doesn't value you. And I'll say this, sometimes betrayal is a gift. It's the clarity you didn't want but needed. It forces you to stop making excuses for people and start protecting yourself. It shows you who they really are, and it gives you the chance to decide who you are going to be moving forward. Breaking free is not about revenge. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about reclaiming your energy, your self-respect, your life. So here's the mantra. I didn't deserve the betrayal. I do deserve the freedom. And you do, every damn bit of it. Alright, so once you've broken free from betrayal, here comes the big question. Now what? because freedom is step one, but healing is step two. And this is where you start rewiring yourself. So betrayal doesn't get to own your story. Here are some tools you can use right now to start healing. Number one, journaling prompts. Grab a notebook and pour it out. Write down the rage, the grief, the questions that won't leave your head. Don't censor yourself. Don't try to make it pretty. Just get it out of your body and onto the page. Try prompts like, what did betrayal teach me about myself? What boundaries do I need now that I didn't have before? What would I say to the version of me who got betrayed? Number two, grounding practices. When betrayal trauma hits, your body reacts like it's in danger. Use grounding to bring yourself back. Things like putting your bare feet on the floor and noticing what it feels like, naming 5 things you see around you, taking 3 deep breaths with your hand on your chest. These little practices tell your nervous system, I'm safe now. Number 3, rebuilding your trust, self-trust. This is huge. Betrayal makes you doubt your own judgment. To rebuild self-trust, start with small promises to yourself. Drink the water when you say you will. Go for a walk you planned. Show yourself you can rely on you. The more you keep your own word, the more you retrain your brain to feel safe in your own hands. Number 4, choose safe people. Healing isn't just about who cut you out, it's also about who let you in. Start small. Let people prove themselves to you through consistency, not big words. Pay attention to actions, not just apologies. Let trust be earned slowly by this time. Number 5, shift your inner dialogue. Every time that voice in your head starts saying, why me? Replace it with what now? Why me keeps you stuck in victim mode. What now puts you back in the driver's seat. Healing after betrayal is not about pretending it didn't happen. It's about taking lessons without carrying the poison. It's about proving to yourself that you are safe, capable, and worthy of healthy, loyal love. And let me tell you something, you can rebuild. The betrayal may have warped you, but healing will reshape you into someone stronger, wiser, and even more unstoppable. Your story doesn't end at the betrayal. That was just a plot twist. The real story is how you rise from it. And here's how to turn the tide. Number 1, name the betrayal out loud, even in private. They broke my trust when they. Number 2, journal the facts without emotions to anchor reality. Number 3, set crystal clear boundaries. I will not engage with you if you speak about me in front of others. Number 4, seek outside perspective, a trusted friend, support group, or therapist. Number 5, reinforce your strengths. List 3 things you've overcome in the last year and you own them. Every step you take builds a new foundation of trust. Trust in your perception, trust in your worth. Healing betrayal isn't quick, but it's possible. Journal your anger. Get that poison out of your head and onto paper instead of bottling it up. Therapy or trauma-informed coaching. Game changer? It helps retrain your brain so you're not living in the fight or flight mode forever. Most important, rebuild self-trust. Prove to yourself that you'll protect you, that you'll walk away next time, that you'll never gaslight yourself just to keep someone else comfortable. And shift the question. Stop asking why me. That question keeps you stuck. Start asking what now. That question opens the door to healing. Here's the truth. Betrayal, as brutal as it is, can always be a wake-up call you needed. Sometimes that knife in the back is what finally cuts you free. Attachment theory's role in betrayal and toxic relationships. What is attachment theory? Attachment theory explains how our earliest bonds with caregivers create an internal relationship blueprint that guides how we perceive trust, intimacy, and safety in adulthood. In this model, the reliability and responsiveness of primary caregivers shape whether we feel secure asking for support or anxious that our needs will be neglected. Core attachment styles and vulnerability. So here's a summary of 3 primary attachment styles and how they influence susceptibility to betrayal and toxic dynamics. So the attachment style secure with the key characteristics: comfortable with closeness and independence, vulnerability to betrayal and toxicity, least likely to tolerate repeated breaches, more apt to address issues directly. And the typical pattern: open communication, healthy boundaries, willingness to repair after conflict. So the second attachment style is anxious, and the key characteristics are preoccupied with approval, hypersensitive to rejection. Vulnerability and betrayal and toxicity tends to cling, overlook red flags, and stay in toxic loops out of fear of loss. In typical pattern, seeking constant reassurance, interpreting neutral actions are as betrayal. And the third attachment style is avoidant. Discomfort. The key characteristics are discomfort with intimacy, values self reliance, vulnerability to betrayal, and toxicity may dismiss betrayal, minimize hurt, and endure toxicity to prevent vulnerability. In a typical pattern, withdrawing under stress, self-soothing instead of seeking support. How anxious attachment fuels toxic cycles. With people with an anxious attachment style often worry their partner doesn't truly care or will abandon them, even when evidence suggests otherwise. Remain in harmful relationships because stepping back triggers overwhelming anxiety. Interpret neutral or ambiguous behavior as signs of betrayal, fueling tension and conflict. These tendencies can trap anxious attached individuals in cycles of seeking validation and then feeling betrayed when it doesn't arrive as expected. Avoidant attachment and betrayal dynamics. Individuals with avoidant style typically suppress or deny their own emotional needs to maintain distance and independence. Avoid confronting betrayal directly, which allows toxic behaviors to continue unchallenged. Rationalize or minimize hurtful actions to protect themselves from perceived weakness. The reluctance to engage emotionally often leads them to tolerate repeated breaches rather than risk vulnerability that comes with setting boundaries. Cultivating secure attachment to break toxic patterns. Shifting towards a secure style reduces vulnerability to toxic betrayal. Key strategies include working with a therapist trained in attachment approaches to reframe old beliefs about trust and worthiness, practicing clear boundary setting and asserting needs in relationships without guilt, building consistent self-soothing rituals, journaling, mindfulness, or creative expression to manage anxiety when trust is challenged, seeking relationships that model reliability, where partners respond predictably to emotional bids. Over time, these practices reinforce an inner sense of safety that both deters toxic people and heals the impact of past betrayals. Betrayal by a toxic person feels like a fracture in your soul, but the fracture can become a line of light, a place where new strength and wisdom flow in. If you've experienced betrayal, you deserve to heal. You deserve relationships built on respect, honesty, and mutual care. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear they're not alone. Send in your stories of betrayal. Anonymously if you wish, and we may feature them in future episodes. If you're ready to rebuild your self-trust from the ground up, a general guide back to self-trust in show notes. You don't need to fix toxic people. You don't need to beg for honesty or chase loyalty. You need to free yourself from the people who prove over and over they don't deserve you. Sip your coffee, take your power back, and remember you're too smart to stay stuck. So let's wrap this up. Betrayal hurts like hell. It makes you doubt yourself, your judgment, and your worth. But here's the thing, it's also clarity. It shows you exactly who someone is, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Next week on the Toxic series, we'll dive into the art of no contact and why it might be the healthiest boundary you'll ever set. Until then, keep shining your light. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, this is Coffee Pod.